Hello, welcome to our channel. We're really glad you joined us today into the fascinating story of the third coin of USA. If this piece of history inspired you, then please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us preserve these forgotten stories and bring more powerful history to life. In the early days of the United States, when the nation was still learning to stand on its own feet, a small copper coin emerged that would one day become one of the most mysterious and valued pieces of American history. This is the story of the third coin of the USA, the 1793 wreath center coin, born from controversy, redesigned in urgency, and minted at a time when America was desperately trying to define its identity. Long before the country had skyscrapers, highways, or even a stable national bank, it had a young mint in Philadelphia struggling to create a symbol worthy of a new republic. When the previous chain cent was mocked across newspapers as crude and offensive, the government rushed to replace it with something more dignified, something that would reflect unity instead of oppression. What followed was the creation of a coin that carried not just copper, but the pride, pressure, and political anxiety of an entire nation. In today's journey, we dive deep into who created this third coin, why it was redesigned, the exact moment it was minted, the material that shaped it, and how such a simple copper piece grew to become a treasure worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions, at auctions around the world. So sit back as we uncover the hidden history, the forgotten craftsmanship, and the unbelievable value behind a coin that most Americans have never seen, yet every collector dreams of holding. In 1793, the United States was barely beginning to walk as a new nation. It had a brand new constitution, a weak financial system, and a mint that had only just started striking coins. The first two coins of the nation were born out of experimentation and urgency, but they also came with controversy, criticism, and public backlash. The chain cent, the second coin, became a national embarrassment almost immediately after release. Newspapers mocked it, citizens laughed at it, and foreign critics saw it as proof that the United States lacked refinement. The chain, on the reverse, meant to symbolize unity between the states, was interpreted by many as a symbol of slavery, oppression, or imprisonment. The depiction of liberty on the obverse was considered crude, rushed, and unattractive. The public outrage grew to the point where the United States Mint had no choice but to replace the coin within weeks. This is where the story of the third coin begins. The government needed a new design, one that would earn dignity, not ridicule. They needed something symbolic, yet elegant, simple, yet meaningful, and above all, something that represented the American identity without causing misunderstandings. Under immense pressure, the Mint's leadership began searching for a way to redesign the cent quickly while maintaining a sense of artistic pride. The new design had to solve multiple problems at once. It had to be visually appealing. It had to avoid controversial imagery. It had to be produced quickly with the tools and manpower available. And it had to reflect America's values: liberty, unity, peace, and national pride. The result was the 1793 wreath cent, known today as the third coin of the United States. Instead of chains, a delicate wreath of natural branches was used on the reverse. This wreath represented growth, harmony, and the natural rights of the people. The obverse retained the flowing hair liberty, but it was refined with smoother detailing, better proportions, and a more dignified expression. This new design was not only aesthetically superior, but it also calmed the public and restored confidence in the mint. Americans saw the change as proof that the government was willing to listen, adapt, and improve. Behind the scenes, the mint workers, many of them young, inexperienced, and still learning their craft, were relieved that they finally had a design that could be defended with pride. In many walls, the creation of the wreath cent marked a turning point for the entire U.S. Mint. It symbolized maturity, responsibility, and a determination to create a currency worthy of the new nation. This origin story is what makes the third coin so special. It wasn't he just minted it. It was born out of necessity, public voice, and a desire to elevate America's identity through the artistry of a simple copper coin. The creation of the third coin of the United States, the 1793 wreath cent, was not the work of a single person, but rather a small group of individuals working under intense pressure inside the early Philadelphia Mint. These individuals were not famous artists or experienced most of them were self-taught. learning through experimentation, working long hours with primitive tools, and trying their best to give America a coin that reflected its new identity. The primary figure behind the design was Henry Voigt, the chief coiner of the U.S. Mint. Voigt was a multi-talented man, part engineer, part machinist. But Artisto played a key role in creating the first American coinage. Although not a professional sculptor, he had a strong sense of design and was responsible for both the chain cent and its replacement, the wreath cent. When the chain cent was criticized, Voigt knew the Mint had to act quickly. He reworked the Liberty portrait, softening her features, improving the proportions, and giving her a more refined and classical appearance. This version of Liberty felt more human, more dignified, and more suitable to represent a young republic. Another important contributor was Adam Eck, a young engraver who would later become one of the most influential figures in U.S. Mint history. Eckfeld played a key role in preparing dies, adjusting details, and supporting Voigt's design changes. He was skilled with metal and machinery, and although he didn't receive official artistic credit at the time, historians believe he contributed significantly to the refinement of the wreath design. He also introduced practical improvements that made coin production smoother and more reliable. The leadership behind the scenes included David Rittenhouse, the first director of the U.S. Mint. Rittenhouse was a respected scientist and mathematician, and he oversaw the entire minting process. When the chain cent backlash occurred, he pushed for fast, high-quality redesigning. His guidance ensured that the new coin met the expectations of government officials and the public alike. Without his disciplined oversight, the wreath cent may never have reached the level of quality it is known for today. In addition to these leading figures, there were numerous unnamed workers, machine operators, and metal handlers whose efforts made the coin possible. They melted copper, cut planchettes by hand, policed dias, and struck every coin one at a time using primitive equipment. The collaboration between artists, engineers, and laborers played a vital role in shaping the third coin. Together, these individuals created a design that was more balanced, symbolic, and artistically respectable than its predecessor. The third coin reflects their combined skills and determination during a period when America was still defining itself. The 1793 wreath cent is not just a piece of copper, it is a signature of early American craftsmanship, teamwork, and pride. The 1793 wreath cent was minted during one of the most delicate periods in early American history. The United States Mint had just been established. The nation was still recovering from the Revolutionary War, and financial stability was fragile. The first American coins were produced only months before, and the government was under pressure to create a currency that citizens could trust. After the chain cent controversy erupted, the Mint immediately began working on a replacement. This redesign was completed quickly, and production of the third coin, the wreath cent, began in March 1793. This timing is crucial because it shows how rapid the transformation had to be. The Mint knew the nation was watching, and they could not afford a second embarrassment. Minting of the wreath cent continued from March until early December 1793, making its total production span less than a single year. During this period, approximately 63,353 coins were struck. This number may seem high today, but in 1793 it was considered very small, especially compared to modern mintages in the millions or billions. The low quantity was due to several reasons. The machinery was primitive. Every strike required manual labor, adjustments, and frequent repairs. The dies were fragile. Engraved by hand, they cracked easily and had to be replaced often. The staff was inexperienced. Most workers were learning on the job because the mint was new. Copper purity varied. Local copper suppliers provided inconsistent quality, slowing production. Despite these obstacles, the wreath cent's production represented a major improvement in the mint's capabilities. Every coin was crafted under pressure but produced with increasing skill as the months progressed. Another factor that limited production was the constant experimentation happening within the mint. Engineers were refining techniques, improving dies, and learning how to produce coins more efficiently. These adjustments meant pauses in production, trial runs, and redesign delays. By late 1793, the Mint prepared to transition to a new design called the Liberty Cap, sent the fourth coin of the United States. As soon as the Liberty Cap dies were approved, the wreath cent's production ended permanently. This created the rare situation where the third coin was minted only once, only in 1 year, and never again. Today, out of the original 63,353 pieces, experts estimate that only a few thousand survive. Many were worn out, damaged, or lost over the centuries. The surviving examples vary greatly in quality, and high-grade specimens have become extraordinary treasures in the numismatic world. The short timeline, limited production, public pressure, political context, and early mint experimentation make the wreath cent one of the most historically significant coins in the entire U.S. collection. Its brief existence in 1793 marks a defining moment where America corrected its mistakes and moved forward with greater artistic and national confidence. The third coin of the United States, the 1793 wreath cent, was crafted from pure American copper, a material chosen not only for affordability, but also for symbolic reasons. In the early years of the U.S. Mint, copper represented strength, accessibility, and practicality. Unlike silver or gold, copper could be sourced locally, and its lower melting point made it easier for the mint's limited equipment to handle. Each wreath cent weighed 13.48 grams and had a diameter of approximately 27 millimeters, making it larger and heavier than the modern penny. Before minting could begin, raw copper had to be smelted and purified. Workers melted the metal in large furnaces, skimming off impurities and creating sheets of copper that could be shaped into plancets, the blank discs used for coins. These sheets were manually cut using early cutting tools, and each planchet was individually inspected, smoothed, and adjusted. This was slow, labor-intensive work. And because the mint was understaffed and underfunded, workers often spent long hours ensuring the copper blanks were usable. Once the planchets were ready, the design had to be engraved into steel dies. Unlike today's computerized engraving, the dies for the wreath cent were carved entirely by hand. Every curve in Liberty's hair, every line in the wreath, and every letter in United States of America was manually etched by an engraver using small chisels, files, and punches. This means each die had subtle differences, making early coin varieties highly valuable today. With dies complete, the planchets were heated slightly to make them more malleable before striking. The striking process involved placing the planchet between two dies and pulling a long lever to compress the dies onto the copper. This left the design imprinted on both sides. Because the machinery was primitive, pressure varied, making many strikes uneven or soft. Despite this, the final product had a depth and texture that modern coins often lack. The obverse featured a refined, flowing hair Liberty with smoother features than the previous chain cent. This Liberty was meant to symbolize freedom, grace, and the youthful spirit of the new nation. The reverse displayed a beautifully balanced wreath made of intertwined branches, representing unity among the states. The words 1 cent were placed inside the wreath, while United States of America encircled the outer ring. The wreath cent's copper was intentionally left with a natural reddish-brown finish, which aged over time into darker shades. Collectors today prize coins that still retain traces of the original red copper tone. The craftsmanship behind the third coin reflects the mint's struggle, dedication, and evolving skill. It shows how early American workers, with limited tools but immense determination, produced a coin that remains one of the most respected and treasured artifacts in U.S. numismatic history. The copper, the engraving, the manual strikes, all of it together forms a coin that stands as a testament to America's earliest steps in creating its own identity through currency. The silent bidder who shocked the room. The auction hall in New York was already vibrating with anticipation, but no one expected the third coin of the United States to steal the night. The moment the velvet curtain lifted, revealing the coin sealed inside a temperature-controlled glass capsule, the room fell silent. Silent, you could hear the soft hum of the air vents. Bidders adjusted their paddles nervously. Collectors leaned forward. Cameras zoomed in. The auctioneer announced a starting bid of $150,000, and the battle began like a thunderclap. Voices rose, tension sharpened, and numbers flew across the room. Within seconds, the price soared past $300,000. The second legendary auction took place in Chicago, and the story behind the coin was as emotional as the bidding war. This particular specimen of the third U.S. coin had been hidden for generations in a wooden cigar box kept by a Midwestern family who never knew its true value. When their great-grandfather passed away, an old letter was found tucked beside the coin, revealing that he had received it directly from a banker who worked during the early mint years. The auction house authenticated the piece, and the discovery spread through media like wildfire. On auction day, the hall was packed beyond capacity. Collectors from 5 countries arrived with one mission to claim the rediscovered artifact for their private vaults. Bidding erupted instantly at $200,000 and climbed at a dizzying pace. At $650,000, two bidders remained, one representing a private museum, the other representing the family itself, determined to reclaim their ancestors' pride. The room shook with emotion when the family's bid reached $720,000. The museum countered $750,000. The family hesitated but struck back with $760,000. Silence. Then the hammer fell. A cheer erupted. The heirloom was going home, its value no longer measured in dollars, but in tears and legacy. The third auction became global news even before it began. 2 billionaire collectors, one from Dubai and the other from Singapore, had both announced publicly that they would stop at nothing to acquire the finest surviving specimen of the third U.S. coin. The media called it the Battle of the Billionaires. The auction house in Los Angeles prepared emergency security, knowing the spectacle they were about to host. The coin, in near-mint condition, shimmered under the spotlight like a star. Bidding opened at $500,000, and instantly, the two titans raised the stakes. $700,000, $900,000, $1.2 million, $1.5 million. The room was trembling with excitement. Every time one raised a paddle, the cameras clicked like machine gun fire. At $2 million, the Dubai bidder leaned forward, whispering to his agent. A new bid was announced, $2.25 million. Gasps spread across the hall. The Singapore billionaire didn't blink. $2.5 million. If fired bike. The room erupted. Tension turned electric. Finally, after a long breathless pause, the bidder from Dubai nodded once his final command. $3 million. The hall exploded with shouts. No counter came. The hammer dropped. The world had just witnessed the most dramatic and expensive battle ever fought over a single American coin. In the end, the story of the third coin of the United States is more than a chapter in the nation's numismatic history. It's a window into the soul of a young country finding its identity. This small, delicate piece of metal has witnessed the birth of a nation, the shifting of economies, the rise of generations, and the quiet passing of time that buries memories unless someone chooses to preserve them. Coins like this are not just currency. They are echoes of hands that once held them, pockets that once carried them, and stories that once surrounded them. They remind us that value doesn't come from gold, silver, or copper alone. Value comes from the people who lived before us, the struggles they faced, and the dreams they dared to believe in. As we look at the third coin, today its faded edges, its old engravings, its scars left by history, we also see ourselves. We see a nation that has stumbled, fought, grown, and reinvented itself again and again. We see the determination of the early mint workers who hammered these coins by hand, never knowing that centuries later, collectors would fight over them with millions of dollars at stake. We see the dreams of the founders who understood that every coin printed carried a message. This nation exists. This nation stands. This nation moves forward. And that is why this coin matters. Not because of its rarity alone. Not because of its auction price. Not because of its age. It matters because it represents a timeline carved in metal, a timeline that begins with courage and continues with every generation, that refuses to let history fade. Each time this coin is bought, sold, displayed, or passed to a new owner, a little piece of American memory is kept alive, and keeping history alive is one of the greatest things we can ever do. For collectors, this coin is a masterpiece. For historians, it's a clue. For families, it's an heirloom. And for the nation, it is a reminder. No matter how much time passes, no matter how much the world changes, the story of America is still written in the artifacts left behind. So as we close this journey, take a moment to imagine the path this single coin has traveled, the pockets it slipped into, the hands that exchanged it, and the long silent years it spent hidden away until someone rediscovered its worth. That journey is not just the journey of a coin, it is the journey of a country. And now, as you finish this video, you've become part of that story too. By watching, by learning, by remembering, you've carried the legacy forward. Thank you for being with us on this powerful historical journey. Thank you for valuing the past, and thank you for helping keep these stories alive. Thanks watching.